Hello art friends, I'm Melisa with Paperlicious Design Studio. Today I'm sharing a mixed media art journal layout inspired by Marta's fourth video in her Me Art Time video series. Before we get started, I'm going to review what we've done so far in the series. Here's day one. This is day two. And this is day three. I'm going to post links to Marta's channel and links to each of these videos if you'd like to go back and watch them. So what do I love about Marta's project? I love the vertical pattern strip. I also loved how she added die cut elements and modeling paste with a stencil to add texture to the background. I'm also going to add a frame with a little girl in it like she did. I'll be working in an 8x8 Arteza art journal today. It has 110-pound paper, is bound, and has a canvas cover. The first idea I had was to create my own vertical pattern to use where she had used pattern paper. I stamped a single butterfly image repeatedly, then trimmed it. I really liked it, but it ended up not matching my focal point, so I'm saving that one for a future project. So if you don't have pattern paper like Marta, think out of the box. Consider using a stamp, die cut, stencil, or paper embellishments. Leave a comment below if you design your own vertical pattern strip. I'd love to hear what you came up with. Next, I pulled some items from my stash that I thought would work with this project. I concentrated on deciding what my focal point and journaling or title would be. I also found a frame and the dies I wanted to use. And as you can see, I did find a piece of pattern paper to use as my vertical element that worked better with the focal point that I chose. So let's get started and see how this goes. I'm going to go off camera for a few minutes. I'm going to go ahead and stamp the images I want to use, get them all trimmed out. And then I'll do a little planning, get an idea of where I want all the items to be on the layout. And then I'll come back, show you where they landed, and we'll go from there. I spent a few minutes shifting the elements around. I'm happy with this layout. Now that I have a plan in place, it's time to get messy. I'm going to begin by adhering my vertical element and my doily die cuts. I use matte medium to adhere the patterned paper, then switch to Aleene's tacky glue to adhere the doilies. One of the things you may not have noticed a few minutes ago is that I adhered the pieces of the focal point cluster together with pieces of double-sided stick tape so I could easily pull it in and out of the layout to help me design the background. I can easily disassemble the pieces later if I need to. Next, I'm going to add some modeling paste over my stencil to add more texture to the background. Here I realized it would have been better for me to put the texture paste down first before adhering my doilies so that they could overlap. So I was just trying to see if I could still pull the edges up a little bit and get some of that texture under there. So here you see me bringing my focal point cluster back in again, just trying to figure out where I wanted to put more modeling paste. So this is where I need to take a little break to let the modeling paste dry. And when I come back, we'll start spraying inks. The modeling paste is dry and it's time to add some color. I'm starting with a Distress Oxide spray, Wilted Violet. In a minute, you're going to see me add two more colors. They're both Distress Stain Sprays, Twisted Citron and Tumbled Glass. I'm also spraying a lot of water on the layout to encourage the ink to spread. Always have a paper towel handy. If the colors pool or go into areas you don't want them to, you can quickly use the paper towel to remove some of the ink. In this instance, the violet and the green were not blending well together. The other reason I kept picking up the paper towel was to try and pick some of the ink up off of the modeling paste. I really just wanted the ink in the crevices. But in a minute, you're going to see how I fix this problem. Here I'm bringing the focal point back into the layout so I can see how the background looks with it at this point. After spraying all that ink and water on my background, it's really saturated, and it's time to take another break so it can dry out. Everything's dry, and now I'm bringing the focal point back in again so I can decide where I want to go next with this layout. I watercolored the little girl, now I'm bringing her back in. When I was spraying the background, I already knew I wanted her outfit to be that lilac color, so I purposefully put the blue and the green spray at the bottom of the frame. The other stamped embellishments were white and needed a little color as well, so I watered down some of my spray inks to use to color them in. Now I'm working a little more on the background. I want my stenciled area to be more prominent, so I'm rubbing on some white gesso. I'm also adding a little around the edges of the layout. So I added my focal point back in to help decide what direction to go in next. I checked back in with Marta's video to find that it's time to do some shadowing. I'm using my Sketch and Wash pencil for that. Then I add some of the black to other areas of the layout as well. Time to take a few moments to dry out the layout again. At this point, I bring the focal point back in and it feels like there's too much black. But can't do anything about it at this point, so I'm just going to roll with it. I adhered all the letters in the title with Aleene's tacky glue. Then I fussed with my focal point for a few minutes and got it all glued down. And when I finished, it looks like this. I found a Stabilo all pencil in my stash. I'd forgotten I had one. It's a water-soluble black pencil, and I used it to add a little more detail. The Sketch and Wash left a gray shadow around the edges of the elements, but this pencil will add a little more definition. Well, this is the final step and we'll wrap up this journal entry. Thanks so much for stopping by. If you're new to my channel and would like to see more crafty projects, then hit the subscribe button and bell below the video. If you're inspired by this project to create an art journal entry of your own, please post it on Instagram. I want to see your project, so use the hashtag listed in the description box below. I know it's a long hashtag, but it'll pop up way before you finish typing it all in. The hashtag enables me to find you. That's it for today. See you next time.